We were waiting for a that's what he said on the Orioles front office leader for not one, not two, but 3 days after he fires manager Brandon Hyde, who some thought would be the guy to lead the Orioles to a World Series title or at least be a big part of this franchise for a long time. Got players in tears in the clubhouse after that went down. I'm sure many of them feel responsible, but also that Hyde should be the manager of this team, and he probably will be a successful manager with someone else. But
Sure.
let's get to biz here. So the question was asked to Elias on why he waited 3 days to speak publicly about Hyde's dismissal. The quote, "It's a pretty hectic few days," got Tony, as in Mansolino, the interim manager, in place and traveled up here with the team and just needed a couple days. Jacob Calvin-Meyer, who's been on this show, covers the Orioles on a daily basis, said Mike Elias' players were not given that same privilege of a few days. Half of the clubhouse spoke on Saturday, right? And Elias didn't speak until Tuesday. The first player that had to speak was a 21-year-old, as in Jackson Holliday. Others had to hold back tears. These are the same players who have mics in their face minutes after blowing a save or striking out to end a game. Really well-worded tweet in my mind to say, you've done this. After a game, you're there, right? You always showed up. You're accountable.
Sure.
We don't ask for the GMs to talk all the time, but when they do something like this, they need to be available pretty quickly to explain it so that it doesn't fall on you. Imagine for 3 days, you've got to be in the clubhouse getting asked about why Hyde's gone and how things are different and whatever, not to mention they lost all 3 games.
Yeah. I mean,
would you be pissed if you're a player?
Yeah, I a little disappointed. I mean,
just a little.
The disappointment would be that he needed to take a couple of days. Hearing that, if he didn't say anything, listen, they're businessmen. At the end of the day, they do whatever the heck they want. If I'm worried about what he's going to say or what he's not going to say or where the heck he is, then I'm not focused on the task at hand. So yeah, maybe you're like, oh, where the heck did he go? But for him to say I need a couple of days off, that would be like, okay, wow, okay. What do you want to say?
10 minutes is all it takes, right? Yeah. Everybody can put 10 minutes together, and this should be one of your top responsibilities. Like, you make the move, you get everything in place.
A guy. You should be speaking on.
It's the time. Well, because obviously for you're going to be like, hey, whatever. I mean, that's his thing. He's going to talk when he talks. My only thing is, like, you played in New York. They're going to be mics in your face every day.
Oh,
I know what you'd say. Like, I mean, ask the GM. It was his move. And then I'm going to say back, yeah, he's not available, Todd.
That's very interesting.
Exactly. Like, he won't talk yet. He's hiding. Have you seen him?
Yeah, no. I'm looking at one of the quotes. He said how confident he is in his own ability to lead here. I'll read it verbatim. Mike Elias said, I've had a lot of success, I believe, in my career, and I think that we did a really strong job in building up this franchise. This is deeply disappointing to me, and I'm doing everything to power to correct and improve it. How long has he been there for? Do we know off top hand?
I think it was 2019 or 20. What is it, 6 years?
So
perhaps?
He's only been there for 6 years? I mean, I've had a lot of success. That's the first words he said.
He took over a tanking team, so you get all the draft picks, all the good stuff, right?
Right. Have they won a championship?
Have they won a playoff game?
Have they won a playoff game?
He had a lot of success with the Astros.
Yeah, okay.
But that was a while ago.
He's had that success here.
Yeah.
I mean, so what are we doing? They shouldn't have. Go ahead, Kratzy.
No. Can I give like a different view of this? And I know we rip on Mike Elias for the moves that he's made, the way he spent the money, that ownership. Does it feel like some of the things that have gone down in the last few days, whether they're out of character for him or not, does it feel like he was pressured to get rid of Brandon Hyde? Do we feel like he didn't want to get rid of Brandon Hyde and yet he had to? Ownership was pushing it because I think sometimes public sentiment is different than actual, good decisions. And I'm not saying he's made all the right decisions, but he's kind of on the defense saying, I've done a lot of really good things, saying, hey, you know what? Why am I going to come out and say anything these first few days here when I'm not the one that made this decision? Maybe ownership will step up and say something. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off base. Maybe it's something that he sees himself going out the door and he's like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to put my name on the fact that we shouldn't have fired the manager that every player likes.
The weather is warming up, and with that being said, you need to check out what Rowback is bringing to the table. If you're a golfer, especially, and you're looking for golf shirts that just have the perfect style and also are soft, they're lightweight, and perfect for the summertime, Rowback is the spot. Of course, FT's hooking you up with a code for 20% off at rowback.com. That's FOUL on RHOBACK.com for 20% off all shorts, hoodies, polos, and more. And was a good soldier, right? I mean, Jackson Holiday actually has had pretty good numbers for the year at the plate so far. At least if you're going off weighted stats like OPS plus. I mean, he's sat a lot. There's a lot of platoon action that goes on with the team. Where does that usually come from?
The brass.
The brass, yeah. Right? And you have to work with them and be like, okay, I'm going to do that, right? He was a good soldier and well-liked by the players. I mean, I think everybody that has a pulse on the team knows that this had almost nothing to do with Brandon Hyde. Brandon Hyde was not going to fix the starting staff. He wasn't going to fix most things with what was going on the field, Kratz. Yeah. But do we now live in a world where you cannot do nothing when your season's done and you're in the thick of your winning window? You did the tanking for a long time. You had 2 pretty good seasons in the last 2 years. Neither of them came up with a playoff appearance, though. And now you're one of the worst teams in baseball, and you're going to be selling at the deadline, right? They're not going to be the ultimate comeback story. So with all that being said, you have to do something. And what else can you do? I'm saying public pressure and ownership pressure nowadays is they weren't going to ride this whole season out doing nothing. I agree with what you say. I think he probably didn't want to let him go. If it was me, I wouldn't want to let him go either. But if I'm the GM, I would potentially look at firing myself because I'm the one that messed up.
Yeah, but people aren't going to do that. But in my opinion, ownership's not going to. Yeah, I mean, ownership I think ownership would say, look, we gave you $75 million added on Kyle Gibson. So $75 million to spend this offseason. You didn't spend it very well. You have to go and fire the manager because whether you think he is the one, I'd like to fire you, but we can't because that it would set a precedent that I don't know that teams have ever seen, let alone an ownership group that is, I mean, they have brand new in their offices. Like they just moved in. They're super new on the scene here and they expected a lot more with what they invested into this team this year.
Can I finish it with this? They had all these prospects, man. They had prospects, and we talked about it for the last couple of years. He didn't do anything with them. He didn't do anything. He didn't trade up to get some big name. You got Corbin Burns for a little bit, right? But you had guys to give out. They had no space to play on your squad. Why didn't you make a big trade for a big name or something? I said it over and over. Get rid of some of these guys, man. They're prospects. And that's the big disappointment I have in the squad because they could have got 2 or 3 guys that could be sitting pretty for the Orioles right now, and they wouldn't be in this scenario.
And if you wait too long, those prospects lose value, right?
They become suspects.
Yeah, and what happened was Connor Norby and Kyle Sowers got traded for at least what appears at the moment to be really a broken arm in Trevor Rogers. So you gave away 2 guys that actually should have gotten more of an opportunity and didn't, and their trade value went down based on their age and them being perceived as quad A players, even though now they're not. Yeah. They just needed a lane. So,
hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.